Greetings all you oxygen units out there. Now, if you're decent human beings and not the toss rags I'm fairly certain you are, then you're probably wondering and are extremely concerned about why I look like I recently walked out of a bus accident. Well, Nick has gotten somewhat uppity about me not following through with the trauma review, thus fucking up the balance of the universe, so he sent our favourite introvert Chris Baird after me with a cricket bat. Luckily for me, he can't swing for shit. See, he only broke one arm. So, let's go on to our topic for today. Your standard haunted house film is like an artificial deja vu machine. The plots tend to be fairly similar. A family moves into a new house whose inexpensiveness may have something to do with the chalk outlines, the police tape, and the fact that the walls regularly ooze blood. The family pet is killed because ghosts think dogs are pricks. The father starts to lose it, develops an interest in woodcutting, and a ball bounces ominously down a flight of stairs. So, as you can imagine, I didn't have high hopes going into the 1973 film Burnt Offerings. A movie directed by the legendary Dan Curtis, the man responsible for the popular supernatural soap opera Dark Shadows, and starring Oliver Reed, Karen Black, Bette Davis, and Burgess Meredith. And a dog. The premise involves a small family being hired by the Penguin to take care of their house, along with their mother, who apparently never leaves her room. Unbeknownst to them, however, the house is evil and rejuvenates itself with the life force of the family member most in sync with it. Like your mum. This is actually a pretty interesting idea. Too bad the film doesn't bloody tell you that. I had to pull it off the Wikipedia page. And that's the trouble with the film overall. Throughout the story, it's fairly apparent that the house is meant to be the villain, but in most of these movies, the character's erratic behaviour can be put down to the house's evil hold over them. The problem here is that the nature of the house is so vague and seemingly non-existent that the behaviour of the characters just seems like bad writing, and that's probably because it is. There's no real tension or suggestion about what the house does or is going to do, and anything that does happen could be easily explained by faulty household appliances, ailing health, or severe psychotic disorders. The most interesting part is when it turns out the villain is actually British Gas.
You alright, Davy?
I think he's better. What has happened, Benji?
That damn gas heater.
I just don't understand how it happened. How could it ever happen?
Old ladies feeding the winter rejoice. The performances don't help either, which is strange considering the cast. Oliver Reed barely acts like a human being and spends most of his time staring ominously at Karen Black like her head's morphed into a bottle of gin. Okay, cut. Oliver, you can stop staring now. Oliver, stop staring. Shit, right, he's going to attack. Somebody get the tranks. Karen Black is, well, Karen Black. And I shit you not, I kept forgetting that Bette Davis was in this film. Whenever she did show up, I was praying for Joan Crawford to show up and give her something to do. The only really memorable performance probably belongs to Burgess Meredith, who, like everything I like, is only there for a few minutes. So does anything out of the ordinary happen? Well, there's a subplot about Oliver Reed being haunted by dreams of his mother's funeral and gets terrorised by a demonic Rob Halford. Or in other words, Rob Halford. But it means nothing in the overall scheme of things and has no bearing on the main story. So generally dull, overlong and poorly written. But it does have one of the most hilarious death scenes on film, which I'm going to show you now so you don't have to wade through 2 hours of pish. You're welcome. Hey, guys, check this out. Yep. That's how bad it is. It was worse before, actually. It started to heal a bit. I don't know if you can see it. I'm okay. You know, in case you cared.